welcome everybody to a new episode of Lethally Stupid. I'm here with myself, Dyson, with Brandon, Soren, and Slater will be here maybe. So yeah, welcome to the episode. We're going to, I want to talk about my backlog because I'm way behind on games. I'm about to finish one. Finally scratched it off my list. Been on my list for like 3 years now, no joke. Started it years ago, which is Assassin's Creed Origins. About to beat it. And I'm going to probably get all the trophies and then move on to another game, which is probably just more Assassin's Creed until I'm done. Because there's a new one coming out, so need to catch up. But you guys working on any games? Any backlogs?
I am currently working on GTA San Andreas, trying to complete that and maybe get 100%. I don't know yet. Might be, well, okay. One of the things, get a platinum trophy, one of the things you have to do is get 100% in the game and then fucking delete it. Yeah, you have to delete your perfect game. And it has to be a perfect game that you delete to get one of the trophies.
Do everything in your perfect game and then delete it.
Yes, but that's the thing.
Can you copy the save?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Workaround.
Yeah. Copy the save, delete the copy, there you go.
Well, and then at the same time, I think, I think that you'd be able to just keep it saved on there because how their saves work is like they have the autosave and then they have all the different save files. I think that you could be able to keep it.
Yeah, especially if you just made duplicates.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so you might get to work around and keep
100%
that
way.
It
just when I first read it, I was just like, what the fuck?
You motherfuckers.
Yeah, unless you do have to delete it, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think any of the ones I have left in Assassin's Creed are too crazy. I think I still need to get a headshot in the air with my bow. Complete every area 100%. I gotta kill 2 giant elephants, stuff like that.
Not too bad.
Yeah, easier stuff.
And then I'm also I took a break from San Andreas and I'm working on Dead Rising 2 off the record. Which
it's a good one.
Yes, and it's I play the shit out of Dead Rising and Dead Rising 2, and it's basically Dead Rising 2, but they take the protagonist from the first one and it's basically what the Dead Rising 2 should have been.
Yeah.
And they also, it's like the updated version, so it's definitely superior.
We were doing a co-op playthrough of it, weren't we?
Yeah, that's safe.
So one of you gets to be, Frank, and then player 2 is Chuck.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
but the original protagonist of 2.
Right, yeah. But it the story doesn't
follows Frank's.
Yeah, and it doesn't acknowledge Chuck as a main character at all. Mm-hmm. He's actually he replaces one of the bosses and becomes one of the new psychos.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And it's what's great about it is in the original game, you have this thing that's probably the most fucking annoying thing, but luckily it's not in the superior version. You have to go back to the safe house once a day and give your daughter Zombrex, which is a shot that'll prevent her from turning into a zombie. Yeah. She has to get it every 24 hours. And then if you neglect it, then the security guard who's in charge of the safe room shoots her. And you go and he's like, sorry, I had to do it. You didn't make it in time. It's and he warns you at the beginning of the game. It's you better be on top of this. And then you actually lie and say you do have Zombrex and you have to go and find it throughout the mall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very stressful. Off the record's much better because you don't have to do that.
But then now his psychopath version, she dies from the outbreak. And he starts to just drink a ton of whiskey. He puts chainsaws on his bike to modify it, and which is a huge mechanic in the game. So during the fight, you have to fight this guy on a chainsaw motorcycle throwing Molotovs at you, and he has her backpack and her stuffed animal hanging off his back. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Dead Rising Psychos are great.
They are the first 2 games. The psychos on those games are amazing. Super creative. You get into 3 and 4 and it's just ass. I don't acknowledge those games.
Anything you're working on, Soren?
So my project throughout this year that I've been working on is a living Pokedex in Pokemon Home.
Yeah.
which currently has me playing Pokemon Red and Blue and Crystal and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus all pretty much simultaneously to try and get different things with different origin marks or different stats and stuff because I want them to be I want good examples of every Pokemon for the living Pokedex.
You don't just want a shit Pokemon,
Well, and I also want those origin marks I talked about a couple episodes ago, where they have the little old school Game Boy mark in their stats on Pokemon Home.
Yes.
And so my goal is to try and get all original 251 Pokemon from the first 2 generations with those origin marks.
So when the new Pokemon games come out, that'll just give you more to do.
It'll give me more to do, but so much of it'll already be done. I'll also be able to...
Yeah, I guess it's...
And so the nice thing about Pokemon Home is you can complete your Pokedex so much easier because you can say, just like, take your entire completed living dex from Legends Arceus and then import it back in when you on a new playthrough.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you can just go catch yourself another Arceus because you've sought out all Pokemon. So...
There you go, you get a better one.
So, well, you can also, I'm thinking about shiny hunting the Arceus in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be... I mean, I have a few shiny legendaries, but...
Get a living shiny...
Oh my god.
That's next year.
Yeah, no, that'll never happen. I'll be like on my deathbed and I'll find like the last shiny Pokemon. That'll be the thing that kills me. I got them all!
You just hear...
Yeah. But
his last words were, I got them all.
I got them all.
But, I mean, that's got to be one of the most peaceful deaths.
No, it's truly serenity. You've reached Nirvana at that point.
Next day, we're giving everyone all shiny Pokemon, and they're all Pokemon games.
I mean, you could be one of those guys and buy, like, for, $200 on eBay, a copy of Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon that has, all it's like 800 in Pokemon up to that point that are all shiny and all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, it's been hacked. But, So...
But no, you want to do it, like, legit. So,
I don't have any interest in... I don't even really like Pokemon Go shinies. That's... So...
Yeah.
And it's like, who wants to just, buy a copy just to brag about completing the Pokedex? And then
you didn't really do anything.
Yeah, and then you go and then you'll get questioned and everything, and then you're gonna know fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like some of the evolutions are so convoluted, and
especially in something like Legends Arceus. Did you play that game any?
Oh, I
did you evolve? Okay, so do you remember trying to evolve into Ursaluna? Evolving Ursaring.
Where you have to wait for the fucking full moon.
Wait for the full moon, and then you have to...
Which is like, 14 day and night cycles?
Something like that. I just ended up going and camping, I don't remember, like the mountain camp, like the peaks up there, and just flying up on Braviary immediately, looking around, seeing if I could see the full moon, and then going back down and sleeping till night again if it wasn't there. And that probably only took me I think 15 or 20 minutes of doing that, but
still 15, 20 minutes just to evolve a Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
This reminds me of when I was trying to get the Platinum in Final Fantasy 15, there's a ring that your character gets that has a chance to instantly kill the enemy you use it on, or it just does a little bit of damage if they're too high level. But eventually, if you use it enough, it'll probably get whatever you're trying to kill. There's a giant turtle boss in the game, fucking humongous. And that's one of the trophies, is to kill this thing. If you fight it normally, it takes 4 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I used a ring, and I just kept doing that. I did it for 30 minutes, and then it literally just pulls them into a vortex, and they, die. So I just kept doing that, just doing a little bit of damage. The health bar's not even moving. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, well, just keep doing it. Because when you do it, it takes all your mana away. But I had an ability that whenever I teleport to a certain ledge point, it regenerates it all.
Oh yeah.
So I use it, teleport, use it, teleport into a spot, use it, just kept doing that for 30 minutes, and then I got it.
Hey, that's only,
it's
that's
better than 4 hours.
Yeah, that's what, 1/16 of the time?
Yeah.
If it takes 4 hours? Yeah, so.
Yeah, because basically you do it enough times that'll happen in less than an hour.
Yeah. So it's kind of like spamming stuff with Marion's Razor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but yeah, doing the whole like sleep cycle thing was I did that a few times in Final Fantasy 15 also to get like a certain enemy to spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, I need to
getting things to spawn is crazy.
Yeah, did that in Borderlands a lot. Reload saves, like just go back to the main menu, load back in an area, run a little bit. Okay, it's not here. Save and quit. Like I just want this loot. But are there any games you guys are looking forward to this year?
Well, the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So I mean,
shit, that's something we should talk about. The gameplay that came out. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Fucking like genius move to decide just to turn it into a fucking sandbox game.
Yeah.
Like, even if like everything else is terrible, it's gonna be fun as shit.
Well, I mean, the modding community probably kind of gave people that idea in the first place, or gave them that maybe the bit of that idea in the first place.
Oh yeah. Well, it was playing the first one. Like you can just use everything in game to do a lot of wacky shit. Like,
like the rock balloons and everything.
Yeah,
I love
all the
those.
cutting down a tree, fucking freezing it, like with the stasis, hitting it a few times, jumping on top of it, and then launching yourself with it. Like, yeah.
Well, and have you guys ever tried to get a raft to float? Like you find the rafts by the river, and then you take Octorok balloons, and you just have to put like 3 of them right in the middle of the raft, and it'll stay mostly level.
Yeah.
And then you just use the Korok leaf and just try and see how far you can get it to go through the air before you inevitably crash.
What I would do. What I would do is like I would try to do them on the edges, but I would like get to one edge really quickly, go to the opposite, and then lay down the next. And that like kind of kept it steady, but then like at one point they'd start popping, and I was like,
and then you're like,
whoa.
Like, wow. Yeah, if you get them in the right spot in the middle, you can get it to lift up, and it's a little less shaky, but it's more finicky with getting it in the right spot in the first place.
Probably in agreement that the fusion ability was probably the coolest.
I think that looks pretty badass.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? The rewind thing looks cool, but it seems like it's mostly just going to be for getting up to the Sky Islands.
Yeah.
Well, no, that one ability where you climb up through
Ascend looked pretty cool.
Ascend, eliminating the climbing. I think that's a really
good
idea to improve Breath of the Wild.
That's probably going to be part of dungeons, like where you can't find where you need to go, and you're like, oh, I probably need to ascend in this spot. Like something's going to look off in the ceiling and be like, I need to ascend under that.
Yeah.
And you are in this random room now that you needed to be in. Like, it's definitely going to be important. So
I think definitely cool. Like the weapon crafting and stuff. What'd you call it? What's the name again?
I think it's fusion.
Fusion, the fusion power.
Yeah, I think they call it fuse or something like that.
And then it's like they said that you can do it with like almost anything in the game.
Yeah,
the guy took that pitchfork and that like stick,
and made the super long pitchfork, and then he also attached the boulder to the stick and made like the boulder hammer. So.
Yeah, and it's like, and it increases the durability of both things when you do that.
Yeah,
that's gonna be.
Well,
that's gonna be nice for the people who are like, oh, that I saw a bunch of comments like, oh, the weapons have durability still. I'm out. I'm like,
go fuck yourself.
Like, what a pussy. Learn how to use different weapons.
I love that feature. I love that feature.
I enjoy that quite a bit.
A lot of people are like, I can't ever find any weapon. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's weapons everywhere.
It's like, clearly you're not playing the game long enough. I'm sorry. That's mean, but if you're if you gotta use plenty of weapons as long as you're...
I've never understood that argument for why they won't play Breath of the Wild or this new game. It's like,
if you're killing enemies, you'll find weapons
in the game.
Yeah.
It's like, here, okay, if you don't want a weapon to break, play it until you get the Master Sword.
Yeah. But then they'll be like, oh, but it has to recharge.
It's like, you used up the fucking energy on it.
Yeah. But no, I love the weapon durability because it basically affords me, like, my favorite thing about it is that when my weapon gets low, I throw it at whatever I'm fighting.
Burst on something.
That's
fucking hilarious.
That's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, so great. You just have a huge halberd and you just go... just fucking chuck it.
Or the spears I fight in Breath of the Wild, like, my weapon of choice is any kind of spear. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer them to the Master Sword most of the time.
I like the big heavy dual, like
like the big like the rock crusher hammers or whatnot.
I just like big heavy swords, whatever, because I like doing the really big spin.
That one is really badass. The Urbosa's Fury.
But Urbosa's Fury is nice, but like just the way he spins with a big weapon is great. And things don't really get through you when you're doing like a heavy weapon spin.
Yeah, if
some
they're
things can
not-
get through you
yeah.
and hit you with a lighter weapon. They don't with the big one.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have a shit ton of stamina and.
Yeah, that was definitely the
Just
first
spin.
thing I did with Breath of the Wild was, oh yeah, looks like I'm gonna need stamina. Max
Yeah.
that shit out.
Which Divine Beast did you guys go to first when you played?
I went to the
Ruta,
water.
yeah, the elephant.
Yeah.
I did the camel. I went to.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
it does.
that was the first
Which
one
is
I did.
like the hardest one.
Yeah, that's the first one I did. I just went out there because I was just like, in any game I play in the desert area is always like the least interesting to me. So I was like, I'll knock it out first.
Just get this done.
I'll get this done. And then it ended up being great just because that's where the Gerudo are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trap link.
Yeah, and you have to sneak in. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, like they still made it great, and the
Mhm.
sand seals were great.
Yeah, oh, I love
And
those
the
things
options
so
that
much.
you have whenever you're Link, and it's like sand seal, seriously, like just stupid seal puns. I'm like, yes. Which apparently Illumination, people making the Mario movie, are now working on a Zelda movie.
Huh.
Yeah, and there's a rumor that has a lot of, I guess, backing behind it. So it's not quite confirmed, but it probably will be confirmed when they announce the movie.
I mean, Zelda would be next.
Yeah.
If
Of
doing-
who is
yeah.
voicing Link?
Who?
In a perfect movie, no one.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's
somebody's
implied,
gotta do this.
that he does speak whenever you are selecting options and stuff like that. And for a movie, they're probably going to have him talk.
Yeah.
Whenever I heard who it was, I'm like, okay, so it's going to have to be an adult Link because of the voice.
Who did it say?
Well, you know the actor for Superman and The Witcher, don't you?
What? Henry Cavill? What?
Yeah,
Okay.
Henry Cavill or Cavill.
Yeah, I think it's Cavill.
Yeah.
but-
I know the name. I don't really know the face, to be honest.
Did you watch The Witcher?
Man of Steel, Justice League. He's Superman in that.
I don't watch
Did you watch
DC
Mission?
movies.
Did you watch
unfortunately.
Mission?
No.
Did you watch the newest Mission Impossible?
Nope.
If you look him up or listen
Well,
to him,
damn,
he's
yeah,
like
you don't
king.
know. I don't know what the hell.
He's like king of the nerds.
Oh,
Like
I gotcha.
he was almost
Yeah.
late to a Superman audition because he was doing a raid in WoW,
Mhm.
like in World of Warcraft. So
I gotcha. And did
Yeah.
you say
He's
plays
up for
Lex?
Link.
Does he play Lex Luthor? Did you say?
No, he's Superman.
No, he's Superman.
He's played
That's
Superman.
Superman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's he's also
Oh.
Geralt of Rivia and
Yeah, Geralt
The
of
Witcher.
Rivia.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I have.
I
So
love
he's
him.
the
He's
Man
great.
of Steel Superman, right?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I have seen Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It was like one of the movies that made me decide to not continue watching DC.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah. Oh, he was great as
Unfortunately.
Superman. Yeah. I mean, sure, DC stuff might not be great, but I think he was great as Superman. I like him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not usually a Superman fan in general. So.
Yeah, I'm not a DC fan in general. There's a few heroes I like, which are like Batman. I like Flash. Superman's okay. Depends on what iteration. I like Booster Gold.
No,
Yeah.
Gold's awesome.
Yeah. Just because he's from the future and he's
Yeah.
an idiot, and like he's just like, yeah, I got this super fancy tech.
Yeah.
I always hated how basic Superman was. The whole idea of Superman. It's like he's literally called Superman.
I mean,
So you
somebody's got to be Superman,
Yeah.
essentially, though. In like the superhero world, somebody's going to be the number one superhero
Mhm.
if you're having like a
Right.
fictitious universe.
Like in the MCU currently, it's probably Thor.
Think so?
I'd say, well,
I guess
I mean,
in the cinematic universe.
I guess maybe Captain Marvel can contend.
Yeah.
So you know what's funny is like Captain Marvel was supposed to be like the new Captain America. Like she was supposed to be like the head of the Avengers. That was quickly put to rest.
Yeah, no. Apparently, what's her name doesn't get along well with a lot of people just on set.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I ended up
Brie
watching
Larson,
the
that's her name. Yeah.
D&D movie on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Good.
it was very good.
Okay,
I was
good.
actually like, wow, this is a good movie.
Okay.
It looks
Yeah.
decent.
It was,
I'm excited
I mean,
then.
I like Chris Pine. Like
I do like Chris
He's never
Pine.
he's never one of those actors where I'm like, oh, I have to go see that movie because he's in it.
Yeah.
And then I watch one of his movies and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
why don't I just like go watch more Chris Pine movies? 'Cause
Yeah.
he's a great actor. So
He's
yeah, he was
Captain
great in it. Hugh Grant was really good in it too. So
Hugh
he's
Grant
in
was in it.
Hugh
I
Grant.
can never remember what Hugh Grant looks like.
He's in it. It's a good movie. It's I know it's pretty loyal to like D&D stuff for sure, and it's just a good movie in general. But I know this year, back to like the games and stuff, I have a lot to go through. There's a lot of games that I'm looking forward to because I'm gonna play Tears of the Kingdom, which I 100% think it's gonna be Tweely related. I think that they're going to be back.
Think so?
I think so.
Wait, what related? What?
Tweely, the Twilight Realm.
Twilight?
I don't know if the
Like
Twilight
Twilight
Realm will be
Princess?
part of it, but I think
Yeah.
the Tweely from Twilight Princess will be at least
That'd be
a
cool.
part of the story in some way, because the Ganondorf body that we see and all the green stuff coming off of him in the teaser, I mean, that looks like Tweely language to me.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
it's the
Very
same.
recent.
He has the same stab wound as the Twilight Princess Ganondorf, like where the sword was
does
sealed,
he?
and the sword is kind of eroded.
But Twilight Princess, I thought it came after Breath of the Wild.
No, Breath of the Wild is way down the line.
Oh, you want to get into this? I'm fucking ready, dude. All
But
right, yeah.
I think it is in the whatever timeline that Twilight Princess is in. I think it's the.
Breath of the Wild?
I think
This
it's
Breath of the Wild
one.
is supposed to be its own
I think it's
timeline.
I think it's child timeline.
It's supposed to be its own timeline, though.
No, I think
It's
child
the
timeline.
accumulation of all three timelines put into one.
Yeah,
Do you know about the three timelines?
Yeah, I do know the three
Yeah.
timelines.
I don't agree
Or at
with
least
that.
of the three
I don't
timelines.
agree with it anymore because of Tears of the Kingdom stuff. I used
I
to,
guess-
but Tears of the Kingdom has totally flipped that upside
It
down.
does
for me.
show a lot of the shit that looks like it's from Skyward Sword, too.
I mean, Sky Island.
Well, yeah.
But that's
Well,
before it split. Sky Island, Skyward Sword is.
Yeah, it's actually it's the first one.
Chronologically, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so technically, like, whenever I looked into this, did my research, I came to the conclusion that it was actually in the Downfall timeline, towards the end, like, right after Zelda 2.
Yeah.
And my evidence for that is basically, like, for one, that entire timeline, you don't see Ganondorf, you just get Ganon. And, like, this one also, the Lionels are more exclusive for that timeline, and it was a couple things like that. It was just elements that were specific, but at the same time, they did pretty much just pull shit from every
The reason
timeline.
that I think it's in child timeline because there's the argument that like sure the Zora evolved from the Rito or the Rito was evolved from the Zora.
I thought they kind of did away with that. When
They did
moved
eventually
on.
do away with that, but
Did they?
Breath of the Wild is supposed to be so off in the future that now they could probably all exist through evolution or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be so far down the line. Also, because of that green shit coming out of Ganondorf, I think he was being used as a battery for the Sheikah stuff this entire time, like the ancient technology and stuff.
That's
I think he was the energy source. He's the Triforce of Power.
He is a Triforce
So
of Power.
that's
So
battery right there.
Triforce has to go somewhere.
it does.
Which
Well,
this is a
Power never
theory.
really leaves him.
This is a
They
theory
choose
that
him.
I came across. This
So.
isn't just like my theory. This is a theory I came across that he's being used as a battery.
Okay.
And there's a video on it somewhere on YouTube, and it's very convincing. Like I think this is Twilight Princess Ganondorf. Like I'm pretty sure it's him because Calamity Ganon was just his fucking like malice, like coming out of him, pissed off that he is sealed down there, not being able to do anything. So just his willpower came to being and took over all this shit. And I think it easily took over all this shit because it's being powered by him.
Gotcha.
Like, you know, normally maybe he can't just possess it, but if he's powering it, motherfucker's probably powering it.
Yeah.
Which means eventually we might lose our Sheikah stuff by the end of the game, or for the final boss fight. We might not have it.
Well,
Because if he escapes that and he's not being used as a battery anymore, then Sheikah Slate.
That would also turn off like Guardians and stuff then too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for his army too.
did you not notice that his abilities come from his new arm thing?
Oh yeah, I saw, but it's probably still Sheikah.
Yeah,
technology, like
Sheikah
the towers and stuff, which
Sheikah
means
tech.
when Ganondorf is taken off from being his battery, the towers will probably go down too. It's probably going to be an awesome scene. I hope it's dope. Whatever it is, even if it's not, that's just where I think the game's headed. But I have that to play in May, which I'm going to probably play until I'm completely done with it.
Oh god, I mean, I put 200 hours
Because
in the original.
I'll have until June, I think, before the next game I'm going to play comes out, which is Diablo 4. So.
Well, I'll be on vacation for like the last third of May too, so
Yeah, there you go. So
in a couple of days I'm gonna do just that.
well, end of this month I have to get the new Star Wars game. Yeah, new. I'm trying to think of what it's even called, but this other one was Fallen Order. I forget what this one's gonna be called, but I'm playing that. I'm gonna play Tears of the Kingdom. Then in June I have 2 games. I have Diablo 4 that I get to play for 2 weeks until Final Fantasy 16 comes out. And then later this year, whenever it comes out, is part 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh,
So
yeah, that should be pretty sick.
but I'm excited for both Final Fantasies.
I kind of want to discuss the Zelda timeline. Well, say you don't know it. Let me tell you it.
Well,
okay?
I know some of it, so
Okay.
I've been.
We've looked at it a lot because that's how we determine the order of how we're going to play all those other games.
I've played a lot.
I
of
do
Zelda
have the
games,
encyclopedia.
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
Zeldapedia,
Yeah.
Like we could devote another episode to this too. I'll have to brush myself up on the lore and the timelines and stuff. So
there's plenty that we could do an entire episode on Zelda lore.
But if you want to do a rundown of it now, I'm totally
we can do
too.
just a short rundown.
So
All right, so the very first game in the series, Skyward Sword. So basically, what happens
much
is
better on the Switch.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like no contest.
Yeah.
Just watch our playthrough of it, and you'll understand definitely why. Because the motion controls were so ass.
In the Switch version, the tutorials cut down from an hour to 15 minutes for one. But anyway, so yeah, it starts with that, and that involves Helia. She took the ground, raised it into the air. Those are the Hylian people. You pronounce that Hylian or Hylian?
I think it's Hylian.
I think it's Highland because it's
Hyrule.
Yeah.
Hylia Lake.
I for some reason for the longest time was saying Hylian, but okay, so she lifts it up, and then she is reincarnated into Zelda. Okay. And so there, years pass, and then you have Link and Zelda all in the same place, of course, and the whole game is about you pretty much discovering the earth beneath you, and then why everything it is the way it is, and then bringing those sky islands back down. Actually, it's really cool. When you first go there, you land in the giant next to the giant gorge that was the main island that you just came from.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
and so later in the game you see it go into that position. It's really fucking cool.
Also, Bruce plants the Great Deku Tree.
Do what?
Also, Bruce plants the Great Deku Tree.
Oh yeah. Okay, then after that,
he came around.
At first it's hey Bruce, but then by the end you're Bruce.
He's alright.
He's the bro. He's the homie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, that is the Skyward Sword is the Master Sword before the Master Sword. Part of that game, most of the game, you're upgrading that sword.
Yeah.
Until it's finally that.
Oh, I have played Skyward Sword.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
I have.
Yeah. You haven't beaten it though.
Not on the Switch, just on the Wii.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a long ass time.
Yeah, he knows Demise gets reincarnated as Ganon.
Right. Yeah, so at the end of the game, of course, Demise curses them, and that's what causes them to come back every game from there.
Next in the series is Four Swords. First Four Swords. Is the next in the timeline.
Yep. So the next one is Four Swords.
Which is a game I've actually never played.
Yeah.
That one's kind of.
I played Four Swords Adventures, which is a different one, somewhere else in one of the timelines.
Yeah, that's kind of its own thing, really.
Yeah. That's more body stuff, I think.
I should just emulate all these old Zelda games and just get them under my belt at least once.
Wait, is Body the Four Swords villain?
Yes, Body, and then she's also
Body's also in the Minish Cap.
Yeah. Body is number 2 villain.
Okay, yeah, no, wait, we're wrong.
The
Minish Cap.
Lord
Okay, so it's Skyward Sword, and then it's Minish Cap.
Oh,
and then it's Four Swords.
Yeah, and then Minish Cap is
Minish Cap
involves the creation of the Four Sword, and that's kind of the same idea as Skyward, is that you gradually are
forging up the sword. I played Minish Cap. So.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, good. I don't know what you haven't played.
Okay. We need a Zelda one of those have and haven't played lists for We should actually do that for Zelda games for sometime. So we can get on the same page.
But anyway, so that, and then it's the Four Swords. Those aren't really important.
More Body, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you whenever you mention a new game if it's one I've played or not.
Well, we probably all play the next one.
Yeah, so the next one is Ocarina of Time.
Yes, many times.
And then from there, that's where the timeline splits.
Yeah, okay.
So so at the end of the game,
child and adult
I think I know where this is going.
And you have the Doomsday.
Yeah, the downfall. So basically, 2 main timelines and then 1 what if timeline.
Yeah.
So basically, how it works is that at the very end of the game. So there is an event that happens in the game that causes the split in time where so whenever they first take Link and age him up, that timeline okay, so whenever she sends him back, after you beat the game, she sends him back, that timeline that you were just in, where you beat Ganon, she takes the Hero of Time out of that timeline, and Ganon comes back with vengeance, and basically that, and then there's no Hero of Time, and so that leads to the timeline where he did beat him, but it came back, and there was no one to defend against him. So that creates the Wind Waker timeline. And so in the Wind Waker, have you played that one?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, everything is flooded.
That's another one many times. That's literally my favorite Zelda game, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So basically, you know, like, everything's flooded. You know, you're basically rediscovering Hyrule, and then that timeline, it's pretty much just the spin-off games from that, the DS, like Spirit Tracks, and
never played that.
Phantom Hourglass, I believe, is first.
Played some of that.
Yeah, and
I
then
love the captions
Spirit
for
Tracks.
the games, like the big things that happen.
Oh,
Like
the
Skyward
arrows.
Sword, it's like the ancient battle and the reincarnation of the goddess Hylia, and the return to the surface. And then the Minish Cap is the rise of Vadi. Four Swords is the resurrection of Vadi.
See, like, the Vadi storyline doesn't add to anything.
The Ocarina of Time and Four Swords, in between that is the Hyrulean Civil War. And then Ocarina of Time has the Sacred Realm becomes the Dark World, and Ganondorf becomes Demon King Ganon, because he started off as Ganondorf. He was reincarnated as Ganondorf, becomes Ganon.
Yeah.
And then there's the timelines, which is downfall, heroes defeated, and then the heroes triumphant breaks up into two.
Yeah, and Hero Triumphant is basically like is that one I just mentioned.
Yeah,
but
the timeline splits like you defeat Ganon, and then you either stay there as an adult or you go back as a child, and that's why it splits into two timelines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do go back as a child. That's why there's no.
In the story, you do, but it's implied that there's another timeline where he doesn't go back as a child; he stays there as an adult.
No, that's, okay.
Yeah, because he could do either one, but the way the game story goes out, we are following the child timeline.
And there is one timeline that is just a what if.
The downfall timeline.
Yeah. And okay, so like, and then the second timeline, where at the same split, where he goes back to be his younger self, he, for one, like, in that timeline, he warns of Ganon and stuff, and so he prevents all of that from happening, and then it leads to Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
And then from there, yes.
Yeah.
And then from there, it goes into, I believe, it's Twilight Princess.
It is
yes.
Twilight.
And then it's the Four Swords Adventures on the YouTube.
Which is the resurrection of Ganondorf and the resurrection of Vadi. Four Swords Adventures is both of them.
Oh, so yeah, that's like a team up then?
It's Ganondorf, it's not Ganon, but it's
so
Ganondorf.
a person will probably have to play that on a GameCube emulator?
The way we're going to play it is I have a GameCube and you can stick in this Game Boy Advance reader.
Oh, you have the...
I have that.
Yeah, nice.
That's how we're playing Minish Cap right now, actually. So,
okay.
But yeah, the adult arrow is Wind Waker, which is Ganondorf is resurrected. There's Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, which is Demon King Malladus is resurrected, so another bad guy to throw in there that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah, I don't
If you're not Ganon in a Zelda game, I don't care.
Yeah. Heroes defeated. I want to see if you know the timeline.
Oh,
Heroes defeated. I want you to try and see.
Oh, okay.
This is the what if. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this is basically a timeline where they said, like, if in that final fight, if Ganon had killed Link, he would have gone on, taken over, have gotten too powerful for his Ganondorf form, and then technically in all these games, you do not see him as Ganondorf. Just Ganon.
He's Ganon and all
Ganon.
those. Yeah.
Okay, so, the first one. Okay, so I'm gonna say the first one is A Link to the Past.
Played that.
You'd be right, which is the resurrection of Ganon.
Yes. So then after that, it would have to be Link Between Worlds.
Not played that one.
No.
What? It's not A Link Between... Oh, it's Link's Awakening.
No.
No?
It's the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
And then Link Between Worlds is after that? They've rearranged this timeline a couple times, actually.
I think this will make for a good episode. We can research this for next time and talk about it.
Yeah, probably so. Let me double check.
So
we've got this dry erase board that between us that we're recording on. We can draw diagrams right on the table, guys.
Sure. That's true. But
not that it'll help anyone listening on audio, but
it'll help us.
It'll help us make sense of things.
But yeah, Downfall Timeline is all Ganon, no Ganon.
Yeah, and those are a lot of the OG games. Like, yeah, so that one has a Link Between Worlds and I guess the Oracle, and then so is it so is it Oracle and then Link Between Worlds?
I think so, because the one I was
is that the one that's not updated?
It might be the one that's not updated, because there's one that's not updated and there's one that is.
I'm pretty positive A Link Between Worlds takes place after A Link to the Past, because that's a direct sequel, and that's the same Link, and I don't think it's the same Link in Oracle. It's the same Link in Link's Awakening, and the same Link in Triforce Heroes, which I don't acknowledge.
A Link Between Worlds is after Oracle's Link's Awakening and Link's Awakening.
Really?
It's a Link Between Worlds, then Triforce Heroes, and then Legend of Zelda 1, and then The Adventures of Link, Legend of Zelda 2.
And then I personally think next would be Breath of the Wild, if they go.
I think it's after Four Swords Adventures.
Okay.
So that'll be another day.
So that's what we need to do for next episode.
Yes, we need
to research it and see where I fall on this
discuss it all.
thing.
Yeah, and we can discuss it all very heavily, where we think everything is, and all
you
that
know
good
what?
stuff.
You and I both have the Zeldapedia. So basically,
it's only because of Tears of the Kingdom. Originally, I did think it was the end of the Downfall Timeline because it was Calamity Ganon, and that's the most Ganon appearances. But Tears of the Kingdom, seeing the Tweely stuff, and also the new robots that were shown in Tears of the Kingdom. When he picks up the core, it says Tweely core, or a version of it. So I think it's Tweely.
I'm gonna have to finish Skyward Sword on the Switch, and then try and find a way to replay Twilight Princess.
I think they're gonna end up putting it on the Switch or the next.
They done fucking Wind Waker yet, though.
Oh my god!
I think because those are both remastered onto. Well, I don't want to say remastered.
I don't know why they would just release the digital
Wii.
version on the Switch, though.
Yeah.
Me and Gabe were talking about it. It's like that is like people would buy that. That's like a $60, per person thing they could cash in whenever they fucking want.
They could sell off so many of these games at a $40 to $70 price tag.
And people,
I
would buy them. I would buy Wind Waker again for $60 if they made it possible.
I almost bought Skyward Sword. Instead, I bought the Joy-Cons because I was like, I'll just get Skyward Sword eventually, like the remaster. I don't need to get it right away.
I got both, but it was just because I had a discount. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, if they kept doing all these games, remakes of them, obviously I'll buy it. Or just making it available. Yeah. Like, I scrambled on the last day of the 3DS shop. I only ended up needing to buy the DLC for a bunch of the Fire Emblem games and one Fire Emblem game.
Okay. You got them now?
Yeah, I got them. So I bought the last 3DS one I needed, which was Awakening, which is where Chrome is from, and Lucina. So I got that one, and I needed a DLC for it. I needed a DLC for Conquest and Birthright, same game, so I only had to buy it once. And I needed one or two more pieces of DLC in Shadows of Valentia, which is a remake of an older Fire Emblem anyways.
Oh, that's good that you got them on there.
Yeah.
I got all my Pokemon all the DLCs. Console games. I got the demos for.
I spent $120 on just game and DLCs.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, exactly. Would have been more if I bought all them individually. I bought the bundles of DLC. And the fun part was I had to get to a certain part in Awakening, the new one I bought, to be able to buy the fucking DLC.
It's like, oh god!
So basically I just skipped everything. I'm like, I'll fucking replay it later and know what the fuck's happening. But I just did all the fights as fast as I could. Okay, I'm at chapter 6. Bought, and then I saved it quick. I was like, okay.
Holy shit.
Holy shit, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm totally down for next time to be a fucking just Zelda.
Yeah. We're going to do our research.
Speculation.
That'll wrap up.
And we'll have it out before the new Zelda, and it'll be great.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, I think
I'm going to do more studying too, and I think I'm going to try and send you guys a link to the video I was talking about the theory.
Yeah, definitely.
You
can just throw it in the dumpster.
Yeah, I'll throw it in the dumpster for you guys. Yeah, but
so
like Brandon was saying, yeah, I think that's an episode. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Toodaloo.
Goodbye.